Crazy Daddy and the Girl, episode GTA 5. Though the commentary is basically G, the game is played on a very adult game. Please be advised. Oh, it's just Daddy. He's racing. Bye.
Hey everybody, it's Crazy Daddy. Know the girl today, because unfortunately GTA 5 is really not a girl-friendly game. I just wanted to show you guys that I do play stuff other than just Minecraft. In fact, today I'm in a conundrum because I have space in my expensive car garage, and I've managed, if you can look, to actually make about $2.8 million. That means I can buy one of the two ill-gotten games cars, but I'm not sure exactly which one I want. We have the choice between the Osiris and the T20. Both are decently fast cars, but I keep trying to figure out which one exactly I want, so I want to bring you on along for the ride, show you how I think about things when it comes to other games. Probably have little segments like this occasionally, as far as other games that I play, such as Battlefield. Probably Diablo. Probably Battlefield. Some more Diablo. We'll do Titanfall 2, so is girls, so there may be some Titanfall involved too. Especially if I can get her another Xbox 360, get her hooked up to it now that she's got gold. Loading up to my favorite track. This is dipping in. I'm going to do a 4-lap standard race in the supers. Turn off the traffic so we know what's going on. Catch up it off. Slipstream off just to be sure. Turn the radio off too, just make sure that we don't get in trouble for anything. Confirming the settings. Now we're going to use two stock cars, because I figure if the two stock cars can race occasionally, honestly, what extra little boost you're going to get from all the goodies, it's just going to be on top of everything else. So first, we're going to run with the Osiris. We're going to do a nice silver. I like that black steel, we'll do that. Go ahead and confirm. We'll start the race. Now I like dipping in because it's a little bit of everything kind of course. You get some straights, you get some turns, and at the same time, it's not a pure race course. Now, I want you to know that I'm not really a pure racer. I make mistakes as much as the Mets guy does. But so this is kind of a course that takes you through what you would probably go through in your general driving through downtown Los Santos. We'll see what we can come up with as far as, yeah, this is not going to go well. I can tell already, I'm already listening through the sound a second or a half behind. Through the capture, and it's not helping out the system any. So we're going to throw this first lap away and not worry about it anyway. It's mostly the second and third laps that really get things going anyway. So it's a decent race course. I enjoy it. Wow, it is really difficult. The tires squealing. Now, I don't take lines right sometimes. I'm not sure exactly when the right braking, the right acceleration spots are in most curves. But this is how I drive. So some people might be like, well, the Zentorno works better for me, or the Turismo works better. For some reason, for me, the Turismo is a better drive for me. It's just the way I drive. A little crazier than most, I guess. That's what I'm trying to figure out between these two cars. I do have the traffic off right now, which is pretty good because I don't want to run into any traffic. I've already done a couple races with these in traffic. They both respond pretty quickly to the control, so I'm not 100% worried about picking one or the other based on traffic. It's just that time. Because there are rumors, if you go to some of the higher end racers on YouTube, like Brohy or Shaggy, stating that the Xbox 360 and PS3 T20 is a little bit buggy. It doesn't quite live up to expectations. So this is one of the reasons I want to run them as well. I'm hoping this, it's a lot of money for $2.2 million. Not that $1.9 million for the Osiris is bad, but it's definitely $2.2 million for a car that underperforms. If I can buy the Osiris and do well with it and get all the stuff in and have some extra money left over, I've got no problem with that whatsoever. So like I said, I'm taking you guys along for the ride. Actually, I'm full about at 229, which is not bad considering the accident that I had earlier, and I can't hear any of the squealing tires to know exactly when I should be pulling out of a turn or a brake, or when I should be accelerating. So we'll see how this goes. We got 3 more laps of this. Personally, I'm a fan of GTA racing. I'm not that great at it. I'm not terrible at it. I've done well enough that I've unlocked all the engine upgrades and all the braking on upgrades, and I've won enough to get all the tattoos that you get for racing too, so it's not like I haven't won my fair share of races. I'm just not the best there is. So I mean, you take what I'm telling you with a grain of salt, but you may also see a driving style here that leads you to believe that maybe, hey, this is the best way for me to go about driving, or thinking I'm driving. And we go from there. And so I've used dipping in any number of times on any number of courses. I'm a big fan of it. Just like I said, it's not too difficult of a course. Got some elevation changes. There's some things you have to deal with, like bumps and a couple slowdowns, some big turns, and there's a big straightaway that some of the faster cars just kiss the guardrail. Jeez. Like I said, not the best. There's some decent straightaways where the speedier cars can actually catch up, but honestly, I've run some of my faster times with one of the slower cars, and that's the Turismo in this, where I've maxed out with my custom like 2 minutes and 14 seconds with this. So I mean, that's not what I'm not going to hit that with this stock Osiris. But if you can definitely set a benchmark as to what I'm running up against when I get that T20 out, that'd be great. Looks like this is probably going to be about 2 minute and 25 to 2 minute and 30 second lap based on the number of little accidents I've had. I also know that it's almost difficult to compare the two because the Osiris right now does not have a spoiler on it. As the spoilers increase handling, there's definitely some more handling to be involved here in the Osiris. Whereas the T20 already has the built-in spoiler, so it's already got its traction bonus built into it. And that's part of where I think the bug is, the fact that the builder systems can't handle the fact that it's got an already built-in traction system where it's expecting a new traction number based on putting the spoiler on it, and it's not ever getting it. Maybe something that's patched, may not be, but like I said, for $2.2 million, it's like a car that works the way it's supposed to work. But I've tested every single one of the cars that I've bought on this, and every one that drives the fastest lap for me in each of the divisions. I own that car, except for Supers, because I like Supers, period, because they're supercars, right? Like the cars that handle best for me on this track are the ones that I use. I mean, they may mesh with what some people say mesh on YouTube. They may not. It's just every car's got its own driving style. Every driver's got its own driving style, and some people just like the butt ends to get out on you. So generally, I drive fastest in a Turismo for the supercars. The sports cars, I drive a Jester sports car. Sedans, I like the tailgater the best because it's nice and solid. I mean, it's not the fastest. Some say it's the shafter, but it's really up to personal preference sometimes based on how well you drive and how much you like to pull that back end out and how much you can catch up with some of your turns. I mean, some of the stuff it's right on, like the Jester's number 2 for some people instead of the Elegy, but for some reason I can't drive the Elegy anymore. I used to drive it on all the time. I just can't drive it. Still, this is a pretty clean lap here so far. I mean, I do other stuff in random. I don't race all the time. I do missions and things like that. Partly how I get up to this 2.8 million. I have not spent money in months. Other than ammunition for missions, it's just been like mission. Occasional races here and there. We've tried to work the system a couple times and not ever come across a way that really works consistently enough to make it worth our time. So I play with a couple friends here and there, and well, we do what we can. I mean, I haven't been through the heists yet. I'm still working through that. Well, we'll see what happens. Hoping you guys enjoy this, me just rambling on and going on and on. Hopefully there'll be some relevant information here that you enjoy. Something to keep you back. 224 is not terrible, but there's got to be some more in here somewhere. it's a nice solid car. It feels solid. It's not going everywhere on me like it could be. I feel like there's some more in it though. I'm just not pulling everything I can out of it. I'm thinking part of it's the fact that I can't hear what's going on. Or I'm hearing it through my headset, just a little delayed as I'm going through the delay on the sound is just a little bit off. Unfortunately, I don't have a setup that will allow me to not do it this way yet. And unfortunately, our little Samsung clip-on mic picks up about everything, so I didn't want to turn the TV back on. So, doing pretty well. I'm losing the back end yet. This thing's got a big butt. Yeah, that's one thing I do recommend. That if you have trouble getting through the smaller spaces between cars and traffic, the Osiris may not be the car for you. That's a big, wide girl that doesn't want to get through those smallest of cracks. There are a couple I missed that I swear I should have made. I definitely made it with the T20 where I didn't make it with this one. Clean lap so far. Let's see how well this works. Now, this is where the Turismo's got some problems, as well as the Elegy. Back on this back straight is where some of the faster cars with higher top speeds, as long as they've got the acceleration to get up to that top speed before you actually have to click a little bit and take your speed down, this is where they start to really catch up on this long straightaway. This is where the Jester comes in handy, because with its overall roundedness, as far as turning and speed and acceleration go, you can really catch most cars with a Jester on this back straightaway. That's why some people use like GP courses, but they're tiny little things that the cars can't really ever get up to speed. I think this is where this is a better gauge as the kind of driving that most people do in the course of a GTA session. Will that make the Adder the #1 car sometimes? Probably. I've had some problems running with it personally. It doesn't drive the way I want it to drive. Looks like we were about 222 on this one, 222.4. Not a bad time. I lost it on that turn, so I'm thinking there's probably another 1/10 of a second in there somewhere. Hey, 118, awesome. So there we go. And photograph, since I'm a photographer. I like the way that goes. So now that we've run that, we're going to do our like, and then we're going to continue. We're going to replay it, and we're going to wait for the load. Awesome. Awesome. I'm thinking about starting to live stream this stuff. If it's something you guys might be interested in, give me a holler down in the comments. Let me know. I may live stream some random stuff from random lobbies, see how that goes. As you can see, we're going to keep the exact same. I'm going to make sure that doesn't start raining. The exact same everything. Took radio off. And we're going to play. Yes, I realize that. As you can see, if you need money quickly, this is a decent way to do it. Don't have to die, don't have to spend money to do it. T20. Now, you saw our fastest lap for the Osiris was a 222.4. So that's what we're aiming for here. I'm hoping, like I said, that this one's a little bit better, that I don't have to worry about the screeching tires again. Because even if this thing's only about a 1/10 of a second faster than the... well, first lap sucked anyway on the other car too. So a 1/10 of a second difference, I'm not paying $2.2 million for it, especially when there's more traction to be pulled out of that Osiris once you put the spoiler on it. So let's see what we can accomplish. That's not going to help us. As you can see, I'm also not curb boosting or anything like that. I'm just trying to run a straight race on the level, so there's nothing that could possibly cause either car to have an advantage over the other. Now, I will admit that I don't understand what the issue is, because this car feels, when I'm watching the graphics go by, when I'm driving and when I'm moving, this car feels like it's a faster car. But I know by numbers that it's not that much faster. I've pulled pretty close to the same times out a couple times from each of these cars, and I just don't understand what the issue is. That's one other thing I have to worry about. If they decide they're going to fix the car, do I future-proof myself against this car, or what? Because, I mean, in all honesty, the only real difference between this and the Osiris is that traction, which I can come up with that traction with the spoiler, but the acceleration in this versus the Osiris, really, honestly, the only big kiss the guardrail again. It's that acceleration that's really the only big difference between the Osiris and this T20. So as you can see, as you start seeing little trees go by, this car definitely feels a lot faster than the Osiris. And they both have the same amount of stability to them. It's not like they're all over the place, especially on the straightaways. It's not squealing too much. It's just, I don't know. This one feels faster. I just can't put my finger on why it's not. First lap with issues on the Osiris was what, a 228? So we'll see how this one comes in, see if it's anything close. Like I said, that was a speed boost though, so I mean you can't count like a half a second on that. And once again, it is super difficult to drive when you can't hear the... I'm doing it for you people, the sacrifices I make. Not wanting to have to hear that squealing tires twice. There we go. 230, so I mean with fewer problems, it's about the same. I mean, the Osiris was a second faster, same amount of problems. I think I actually had more problems with the Osiris, honestly. Take the corner right, there we go. Drive. That's not the way to go. We said anything, so it's not going to completely tear up the numbers. Yeah, always hit this turn to the inside. You run up that hill every time. Ask my buddy Darth Flanders. He follows that thing right up the hill every time. Yeah, it's just, it feels so much faster. But it's covering the same amount of time. Distance the same amount of time. Here it feels kind of like the Osiris. It's not that much better. It's just downtown and through that back stretch just feels so much faster. I'm going to work for a better setup next time for this. It's just kind of a spur of the moment, something the girl's not in a recording mood for the Minecraft episode. So like I said, I'm trying to show you guys. I do play other games. Probably going to do a section on why does Daddy suck on Battlefield. Not that I'm terrible, I'm just not that great. Especially with the new summer patch coming out, see what else comes out. Night maps, all that neat thing. Come on, car. See, this thing feels like it's going so much faster. It's just that, or I'm trying to make it seem faster. I mean, that's always a possibility too. It's always that placebo effect. That, hey, I want it to be faster, so I make it look faster. And both cars are pretty, I don't know. Not Turismo's. Turismo's are the prettiest cars, the sports cars, the Cheetahs too. These things are just kind of bubbly for my liking. But I want a nice fast car. I want to be able to drive around from something from ill-gotten gains saying, hey look, I took the time to earn $2+ million to kit one of these things out. See how well that goes. Well, this one's going to be doing a 220, yep. So far with clean laps, they're both running about the same. That's not really good. That's not good at all. Well, we're going to toss this lap too. That's why we did a 4-lap race, so I get one good lap. Now if I could consistently get like 3 laps in a row with one at like 222, not the other, then it's not a big deal. I would just go with the 222 and be done with it, whichever one's the more consistent car at that speed. Something to be said about being broke once you get one of these things fully upgraded, and then not being broke and having extra money for like the Sakura race car, and then that'll give me both race cars. I'm definitely gonna buy another car if I get the Osiris. Just haven't decided yet. Or maybe a speedboat. I don't have a boat yet. I want to buy a Buzzard too. I mean, there's things to buy. Unless I feel like I'm getting the absolute best times out of these things, so I'm not gonna worry about it. wish I had the money I could buy them both. I could test them both and then sell one bag. Just see what that spoiler does, because that spoiler even shaves off another half second or 5 full second off of it. That would definitely be an advantage for the Osiris. The other thing I have to worry about is if you get a full enough online lobby and you start going too fast, you start glitching. So I said, do not drive like I drive. This is not the right way to drive. It feels like it's, at least it's trying to sound like it's picking up some speed. Until I completely break the car's attempt to accelerate, you only have to turn like that. Well, 223.5 is not terrible considering the fact that I hit a light pole. Part of me just wants to buy the cheaper of the two cars and have more money left over. But I mean, I don't want to shortchange myself if this is the better car. So that's 2 laps in a row, right around 222, 223. Or I had to pull in a perfect lap on the Osiris to get that 222 and a half. Yeah, I know it's 4 minutes worth of racing. You guys are like, oh my god, this is so terrible. And hopefully you guys will stick through it. It's only going to be a 20-minute event. See some of the lines, some of the laps. I'll just show you that I'm not my way of thinking. Hopefully you guys aren't too bored to death. I'm sure there's going to be funnier GTA moments for me, especially if I get Darth Flanders on with me. They're like dropping dump trucks on people's heads and they're like picking people up in their cars. We're trolls sometimes. Sometimes we just have to go kill people. We do that too. Sometimes just the oddest things happen while we're playing in missions. So start doing some recording of that nature here and figure out what's going on. Like I said, we may be live streaming too. Alright, coming up on this last lap. I mean, honestly, this feels like a solid car. But what's that time worth? So we're going to be asking ourselves, what are you going to be doing? I'm still going to be indecisive. So I may have to buy both eventually, but right now I can only buy one, and I want the one that seems to be performing better for me. It seems like I don't have to worry as much about this one pulling its back end out. It seems to want to stick a little bit better. It seems like there might be more time in this one, but like I said, this is with extra added traction as is. Here comes another 223. 223.8, 223.4. Well, there we go. I got some thinking to do. I got 2 cars right around the same speed. Cost right around the same thing. I'm just going to have to decide. I'll think about it either way. I mean, they're pretty much the same car. The issue's going to come up to what's that extra speed worth to me? Is it worth the extra $300,000 to go with it or not? So that's where we are. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm hoping we can do some more of this later. So thanks very much for sticking with me, and have a great day. Be good to yourselves, and especially when you're playing GTA, be good to each other.